The notification hit my phone like a slap I never saw coming. I was sitting at my kitchen table in our quiet Seattle suburb home. The kind of place with rain tapping steadily against the windows and the faint smell of fresh coffee still lingering from breakfast. I'd been staring at my medical school reapplication essay for what felt like hours, tweaking sentences about perseverance after years away from the dream. Then the alert flashed. Unauthorized withdrawal attempt detected. $400,000 from education trust account. My heart slammed against my ribs. The mug in my hand slipped, sending lukewarm coffee splashing across the granite countertop. Everything around me sharpened, the ticking wall clock, the framed photo of Grandpa Elias on the sideboard, his kind but stern eyes seeming to pierce right through me. I could barely breathe as I grabbed the phone with trembling fingers and dialed Rebecca, my financial advisor and attorney. The rings stretched forever, each one tightening the knot in my stomach. When she picked up, her voice was measured, professional, but I caught the undercurrent of alarm. "Elena, I've been trying to reach you. There's been an attempt to drain most of the trust fund." The words landed heavy. 2/3 of the money Grandpa had set aside specifically for me to finish medical school after putting my life on hold.
"How?"
I whispered, gripping the counter edge until my knuckles turned white. Rebecca explained carefully. A phone call came in claiming to be me, authorizing an emergency transfer. The voice on the recording she sent over was eerily familiar, polished,
"Confident."
with that slight southern lilt my brother's wife Lauren used when she wanted something. "This is Elena Thompson. I've discussed this with my brother Alex. We agree this is the right move for the Family Education Fund." Lauren, married to Alex just 3 months ago. The memory flooded back unbidden, the day of Mom's memorial service in that small chapel overlooking Puget Sound. Lauren had shown up in a sleek black designer dress, her hair perfectly styled, red heels clicking sharply as she moved through the crowd offering condolences that felt too calculated. She'd pulled me aside near the reception, gesturing toward my modest apartment visible in the distance. All that money just sitting untouched in a trust. What a waste when family could use it right now. Her smile never quite touched her eyes. I pressed my palm to the cool counter, fighting nausea. It had been 8 long years since I first got that call about Mom's stage 4 pancreatic cancer diagnosis. I'd been in my white coat at the hospital, fresh into rotations, when my sister Lily's voice cracked over the phone. I'd folded the coat away that same day, stepped into caregiving full-time, night shifts at a local clinic, weekend jobs tutoring, all while helping Lily finish high school and watching Mom slowly slip away in hospice. Grandpa Elias had been our anchor through it all. The day he created the trust still burned bright in my mind, his weathered hands on mine. Voice steady as he said, "This is for you to finish what you started. Elena. Nothing else. Alex will co-trustee to protect it." He'd warned us subtly about people who viewed money not as opportunity, but as something to seize. The signs with Lauren had been there all along, subtle but nagging. The way she'd inspected every corner of my apartment like an appraiser during her first visit. The family dinner 2 weeks back where she'd casually floated ideas about pooling resources for everyone's benefit, leaning in with that intense gaze while Alex stared at his plate in silence. I'd pushed back gently. Grandpa believed in seeing things through to the end.
But now,
with Rebecca's attachments arriving, Lauren's credit report showing $180,000 in hidden debts from luxury splurges, payday loans, casino hits across multiple states, the picture sharpened into something sinister. The final attachment stopped my breath cold, an old mugshot from 5 years prior in Texas. Darker hair, but those same sharp, calculating eyes. Name listed, Jessica Kane. Wanted for fraud and identity theft. Alex had no idea who he'd really married. My brother, the one who'd split lunches with me in elementary school, taught me to ride a bike without training wheels, held me through my first real heartbreak. He was just the latest mark in her scheme. I pulled up my reapplication essay on the laptop, the cursor blinking at the end of a paragraph about honoring sacrifices and keeping promises. Grandpa's portrait caught the afternoon light filtering through the clouds, his eyes holding that quiet wisdom. The trust wasn't just dollars. It was his last bridge back to the life I'd paused for love of family. Now I had to decide how far I'd go to protect it. Rebecca's follow-up email at 3 that afternoon detailed more, draft messages in shared family accounts from months before Lauren met Alex at a charity gala. Her overly interested compliments on Dad's old Rolex watch. The timeline stretched back 14 months, predatory research into trust clauses, power of attorney loopholes. My phone buzzed again. Lily's name appeared, her voice trembling like it had during Mom's final weeks. Lauren stopped by earlier, pushing some papers for me to sign. Said it was temporary power of attorney because you were burned out and needed help managing things. The room spun slightly. I steadied myself on the desk. Don't sign anything. Lily, talk to me first. She agreed, voice hardening with suspicion that mirrored my own. After hanging up, I stared at the forged signature attempt. It matched Lauren's flowing script from their wedding thank yous perfectly. Nothing like Alex's neat handwriting. Resolve hardened inside me. I couldn't let this slide. Grabbing my keys, I headed out into the drizzling rain toward Alex's house across town. The drive dragged with memories. The elementary school where he'd defended me from bullies. The park where we'd raced bikes until sunset. When he answered the door in his rumpled old college hoodie, surprise and confusion crossed his face. Elena? What's wrong? I showed him the alert printout and explained. His expression shuddered immediately. There has to be a misunderstanding, but as I pressed, the heels clicking from inside interrupted us. Lauren appeared, purse slung elegantly over her arm, eyes narrowing briefly before welling with perfect tears. I was only trying to help the family. Elena, you weren't using the money, anyway, and we have real pressures now. The bitterness rose fast. I countered with the credit report details, the casino hits, the hidden debts. Alex stepped between us. Hands up. Let's calm down. Maybe we could discuss sharing a portion. Lauren pressed closer, manicured hand on his arm. Family supports family. Don't be selfish. That's when I pulled out my phone with the mugshot photo. Alex's face drained of color reading, Jessica Kane. Lauren's tears evaporated instantly. You're trying to ruin us, she hissed before catching herself. She grabbed her purse and stormed out, door slamming. Alex sank onto the stairs, head in hands. The weight of betrayal settled heavy between us as I sat beside him, the familiar scent of his hoodie bringing tears to my eyes. I explained the meeting with bank officers planned for that evening to remove him as co-trustee. He nodded brokenly. I didn't protect you like I promised, Grandpa. The rain intensified outside as we talked into the evening, piecing together how Lauren had isolated him, suggested business ventures that conveniently needed quick cash. My phone chimed with another unknown number. Jessica Kane destroyed my brother's life too. Call me. I looked at Grandpa's old watch on my wrist, the second hand ticking steadily. Some dreams waited patiently. Others demanded defense with everything you had. The bank meeting that evening felt surreal, like stepping into a legal thriller. Rebecca had arranged everything meticulously, officers reviewing the forged documents, security footage requests, fraud protocols kicking in. They confirmed the voice recording didn't match my own and the signatures were inconsistent. With evidence mounting, we moved to freeze access and began the process of revoking Alex's co-trustee role temporarily. It hurt watching my brother's name on those forms, but protecting the fund meant hard lines. Back home later, surrounded by legal papers instead of textbooks, my acceptance letter to the University of Washington Medical School lay unopened on the coffee table. The trust was safer now, But the cost to family bonds gnawed at me. Another text from the unknown number. More details on Jessica Kane's pattern. Then Alex texted, found odd passport photos in Lauren's drawer. Different names. I ran my thumb over Grandpa's watch face. Feeling its steady rhythm ground me. 2 days later, the family gathered at Aunt Helen's house in the suburbs, the air thick with potpourri and the smell of her famous pot roast. Lauren perched on the floral sofa, dabbing dramatically at her eyes. We're so worried about Elena since her mom passed. Clinging to that trust isn't healthy. We just want to help her move forward. Murmurs of concern rippled from cousins and uncles. Expressions rehearsed. Alex hunched in Dad's old chair, avoiding eye contact. I touched Grandpa's watch. Its tick steady amid the tension. Sunlight glinted off it, reminding me of his chess lessons in the study. The quiet player sees 3 moves ahead. Let them reveal their strategy, then strike. As Lauren droned on about practical solutions and family resources, I withdrew the crisp acceptance envelope from my purse and placed it on the coffee table. The medical school seal gleamed. The room hushed. I start classes in September, I said clearly. The admissions team loved my essay about caregiving and returning stronger. Lauren's smile cracked. At your age? That money could help everyone. Grandpa didn't leave me money, I replied softly. He left me a future. Alex's head snapped up, catching the flash of fury in her eyes. Lily arrived then with copies of my essays, the one about Mom bringing tears. Aunt Helen stood, voice wavering. Elias always said Elena was born to heal. My phone buzzed, Rebecca. 3 more victims ready to testify. Alex asked pointedly about Lauren's college history. She excused herself abruptly to check dinner, but the roast wasn't even started. I slid over bank statements showing hotel reservations. Flights to Mexico City in her maiden name. Alex read them. Color draining. Mexico? In your old name? Lauren's mask slipped fully, eyes hardening. You always thought you were better. Little Miss Perfect with your dreams. Alex rose beside me. But she's better than this. Tension crackled. More alerts flooded my phone, attempted withdrawals from Alex's retirement account. Security footage showed Lauren at the downtown branch with a manila envelope. Grandpa's chess wisdom echoed. Wait for the opponent to overextend. I drove to Mom's grave afterward, kneeling in the sudden downpour, placing fresh daisies. I'm going back, I whispered through tears. But first, protect what made it possible. The rain soaked through, mirroring the storm inside, but something clicked into place. 8 years of sacrifice had forged resilience. Alex called in panic. She's draining accounts right now. Bank alerts confirmed multiple attempts. This was the opening we'd prepared for. We picked him up and headed to Rebecca's office, where the police detective waited. The wire under Alex's collar glowed faintly. 8 officers positioned citywide. You don't have to do this, I told him, studying the exhaustion in his eyes matching my own. He adjusted his tie. Yes, I do. Rebecca confirmed Lauren was making moves, calling a contact named Mark, the charming friend who'd introduced them at the gala. Alerts pinged relentlessly, rejected withdrawals pushing her toward panic. The hours stretched taut. Alex's phone rang, Lauren's voice dripping honey and tears. Your sister's destroying us out of jealousy. His jaw tightened. Come home. We need to talk. The trap closed. At the bank, Mrs. Chen, who remembered Mom's illness, confronted Lauren over mismatched signatures and falsified documents. These don't match records. Mrs. Thompson. Lauren's laugh turned brittle. Footage captured her fingers drumming nervously, the tell from the memorial. Alex later found the second phone in their closet. Texts mapping the campaign. Research on trusts. Fake passport under Jessica Kane. The discovery hit Alex like a freight train. Messages revealed reconnaissance disguised as love letters. Anniversary gifts bought with prior victim savings. His hands shook reading them. I was never your husband. I was your access code. When Lauren's key turned in the lock later that day, we sat waiting at the kitchen table, the same one where she'd once eyed my application materials. She froze, mask slipping back on. What's going on? Alex played the recording of her own voice. Your pathetic sister wasted her chance. I wasn't letting that money sit.
Her purse dropped.
Eyes darted for escape. Baby, let me explain. His voice carried the ache of years watching Mom fade. What have you ever sacrificed? The mask shattered into ugly truth. She was stupid to give up fortune for promises. I wasn't. Police radios crackled as Detective Wilson entered with Rebecca and the evidence folder. Amanda Wells or Patricia Turner. Witnesses from multiple states are eager to talk. She was arrested on the spot. Family reactions poured in, apologies from relatives, too quick to judge. Sarah brought Mom's lasagna recipe and wine. Neighbors waved with quiet understanding. 2 weeks later, Alex moved into a small apartment near mine. I helped pack Grandpa's old chest. Memories heavy. One afternoon at my place, Rebecca called. The DA offered a deal, but evidence was overwhelming with victims coming forward. Take it, I said. This wasn't about money anymore. Detective Wilson revealed the broader pattern, targeting vulnerable families with trusts during grief or illness. Accomplices making introductions. Photos showed Mark, in shot after shot beside unaware prey. Standing at my window, watching sunrise. Mom's words echoed. Finish what you started. The world needs healers. I told Alex we had to stop her from harming others too. A week later came the unwanted visitor. Lauren's perfume cloyed the small conference room. Drop the charges and I disappear. 200,000, reasonable compensation. Her nails drummed the table. Grandpa's watch ticked. Silence stretched. You know what fighting me means? Every gathering becomes about the sister who imprisoned family. 8 years of night shifts had taught patience. Mom's decline taught legacy. This is about legacy. I met her gaze. Just not yours. The courtroom confrontation came after weeks of prep. Doors felt leaden. Alex sat front row. Hunched. Her attorney painted me unstable. Hoarding unearned money while family struggled. This is about refusal to help in need. My acceptance letter burned in my bag amid Dean's concern calls. Rebecca presented the timeline boards. Audio of shifting identities. When my turn came, I touched the watch. Mom died believing I'd return to medicine. She apologized for needing me. But love doesn't keep score. Lauren didn't just steal money. She tried to steal that future. 5 victims testified. Stories echoing mine. Bank trails spanned years. Identities. Alex's testimony cut deepest. Love letters as intel. Gifts from stolen savings. His voice cracked. I thought I protected my sister's future. Instead, I nearly destroyed it. The accomplice testified on planning texts. Notebook of targets. Judge's fury. You exploited pain as opportunity.
6 years.
No parole. Full restitution. Lauren's mask crumbled feral. You wasted your doctor shot on revenge. I replied softly. This was never a game.
Outside.
April's sun warmed the steps. Alex pulled a velvet box, the diamond ring nearly emptying his savings. Sell it. Make something real. His apology hung heavy. Chess pieces clicked nearby at a park table. Like Grandpa's games. The sealed letter waited at home. Alex touched the edge. After everything, can you forgive me? Grandpa's carved queen watched from the chest. The hardest forgiveness is to self. The seal broke in evening light. We began healing therapy sessions, honest dinners. Months passed in quiet rebuilding. One Monday, the white coat's weight settled familiarly as I stepped into medical school's halls. Antiseptic scent sharp yet welcoming. 8 years transformed everything. Professor Martinez recognized me. Finally back where you belong. The embroidered name matched Grandpa's portrait. My smile felt earned.
Steady.
Scholarship paperwork established a fund for caregiver students using recovered money. The plaque would honor those pausing dreams for others. Alex leaned in the doorway. Support quiet. He'd swapped suits for simpler clothes. Tension easing through therapy. Our monthly dinners evolved, truth over performance. Sarah unpacked Mom's restored stethoscope. Rebecca joined with wine. Friendship beyond legal. Travis, wait. Alex, cooked Grandpa's pot roast recipe. Voice lighter. A knock brought first-year Jenny Martinez. Eyes red from her father's cancer news. I don't know if I can balance both. I gestured to the chair. Sometimes the longest path builds the strongest healer. Lessons through presence. The weekend at Grandpa's grave. October sun warming granite. Alex placed the chess queen piece with flowers. You are the strongest piece. Therapy helped him stand alone. Fingers tracing dates. Strength is knowing when to wait or move. Financial literacy workshops ran long. Students absorbed warnings on trusts. Agreements. My case became syllabus material. Late in the library. Texts surrounded me like old friends. Grandpa's watch marked 11:17 p.m., old shift time. Dreams don't die, they wait for readiness. At 33, I was exactly where needed, not despite delays, but because of them. Every step built the road home. The community rallied in subtle ways. Neighbors sharing stories. Colleagues offering mentorship. Alex and I visited Mom's grave together more. Planting perennials, symbolizing renewal. Lily thrived in college, inspired by the resilience modeled. Rebecca uncovered more victims nationwide, strengthening restitution efforts. The legal web tightened around any lingering accomplices. Reflections often returned to the kitchen confrontation, the rain at the grave, the courtroom silence. Betrayal's scar remained, but it taught discernment, trust earned slowly, boundaries fiercely guarded. Grandpa's words on chess became mantra, victory in quiet anticipation. The fund's first recipients shared caregiver stories mirroring mine. Forging connection. One evening, over pot roast, Alex raised a glass to protecting dreams and the people who carry them. Laughter mixed with lingering ache, but forward momentum prevailed. Medical rotations began demanding yet fulfilling. White coat symbolizing not just profession, but promise kept. The moral lingered, family bonds tested by greed revealed true character, justice balances scales. But healing mends what remains. What price would you pay for a stolen future? The question echoes in quiet moments, urging vigilance. Final reflections settled as seasons turned. The Caregiver Fund awarded its first scholarships, young faces lighting with hope. I mentored several, sharing not full details but essence. Sacrifice forges empathy deeper than textbooks. Alex found purpose in financial education advocacy, warning others of red flags in relationships. Our sibling bond rebuilt brick by brick through shared vulnerability. A year post-resolution, I stood at commencement, diploma in hand, Mom's stethoscope tucked symbolically in my pocket. Family cheered, Lily snapping photos, Alex tearing up, Aunt Helen beaming. Grandpa's watch ticked proudly on my wrist. The journey from alert to achievement proved dreams defended endure. Socially, awareness grew. Talks at community centers on elder/vulnerable financial abuse. Legal safeguards. Victims' networks connected, turning personal pain into prevention. Psychologically, betrayal trauma healed through therapy. Reframing trust as earned, not assumed. The con artist's pattern, exploiting grief, highlighted societal gaps in protections during vulnerability. Legal realism, statutes on fraud, power of attorney verification tightened locally, inspired partly by our case publicity. No early release for Lauren/Jessica. Restitution flowed back. Funding dreams interrupted. The question of morality lingered when family enables unwittingly. Who bears responsibility? Alex grappled. But growth emerged from accountability. Evenings often ended with quiet chess games against myself or Alex. Pieces evoking strategy in life. Rainy Seattle days mirrored early turmoil but now brought comfort, renewal after storm. The apartment filled with medical texts. Family photos updated with new memories. Ultimately, the core message endured. Love demands sacrifice. But greed masquerading as care destroys. Protecting futures requires courage. Foresight.
Community.
As I stepped into full practice, patients' stories resonated, caregivers pausing careers, families fractured by deceit. Each consultation reinforced purpose, heal bodies, but also guard spirits and legacies. Grandpa would approve, the quiet player who saw ahead, ensuring my bishop reached the endgame victorious. Dreams, once deferred, now lived fully, enriched by trials. The lingering query for listeners. In your family, what unseen threats lurk behind smiles? Defend fiercely what matters most. The end leaves one pondering justice's quiet victories and the human cost of trust misplaced.